We'll call the Stanley City Council meeting to order Tuesday, January 14th, 2025 at 7:01 PM. If everybody would rise and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. With that, we'll move to the tax abatement.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. I believe you have a copy in your packet. Stanley School District turned in an abatement for the new bus barn building. It is on 3rd Street, just south of Pinnacle. They are asking for the property taxes from July through December of 2024 to be removed, as they no longer had rental space in that building. They did have the rental space when they took over the building in December of 2023 through the end of June. But then starting on July 1st, the building was being used just completely as their bus barn. So no rental income that was coming in. If anybody has any questions.
Any questions for Amanda or Tim? Any comments?
You can share the podium with me if you need to. I can.
Yeah. And we've got Mr. Enander here as well. He's on the school board. We purchased the building in 2023 of December of 23, as Amanda mentioned. When we purchased it, there were tenants in the building already. Gooseneck was renting kind of the shop side, and then there was a trucking company entering the kind of business side of it. I don't know what you want to call it, kind of storefront side of it, I guess. And they had leases, and we just decided to honor those leases until they expired. And that was at the end of June 30th of 2024. So then after that point, they moved out, and then we just moved in and occupied it as our bus barn.
Okay.
So what we would ask, or what my recommendation would be to take off those taxes from July 1 through the end of the year and then refigure their tax statement. That would be my recommendation. That would then go to the county commissioners if you guys agree or disagree.
What does this do for you guys, Dave and Tim, as far as like next year? Let's just look at 2025. You pay yourself taxes on this, or you eventually get to go to a zero?
Right, it should go to a zero property tax.
So
This would just be kind of backdating it to,
right.
So you guys done by pretty soon, but let's do this one.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
I make a motion to accept the recommendation. Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Elaine, will you do a?
Kirk. Jesse.
Aye.
Ty.
Aye.
Randy.
Aye.
George.
Aye.
Chad.
Hearing no nays, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the minutes. Do you see them? Next. Have you all had a chance to read them?
I read them today when they got sent out.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
Don't move.
Is there a second? Okay, Chad and George. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, planning and zoning recommendations.
Mr.
Hello,
Mayor,
Todd.
Council.
Yep.
We had our regular meeting last evening. First order of business was a replatting of lots This is the estate of Alan Ahu, and this is to take his lot from meets and bounds to a plat for resale purposes. It has gone to the courthouse, but has not been returned approved. So they're still working on it, which means we approved it contingent upon the return from the courthouse. So I'd ask you guys to do the same, that you would approve the mayor to sign the plat when it comes back from the courthouse.
Okay, any discussion, questions for Chad on that, or Todd? If not, can I get a motion to approve it, just like Todd said, with when we get that back?
So moved. Second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign opposed, motion carries.
Next up was a mobile food permit for Maria Ortega. She wants to put a mobile food trailer out at Myers Oil. We set a public hearing for next month for her request. Next up was a rezone application. This came from the city on that Frontier Development property that Fred Evans is working with the city on. Because it's a rezone, it'll be going from highway commercial to public, because the city will be owning it, it'll go into public. And with that, we have to set a public hearing for next month to do the rezone.
Todd, do you need any of us to that? Like a couple of us,
I don't,
is it necessary?
no, I don't, Lynn and Amanda can easily represent the city. There's no discussion, unless, the only thing I would say is if somebody from the public were to present a written letter or something against it beforehand, and Lynn receives that and notifies the mayor and the council, that maybe then somebody should show up
Okay.
to defend what you guys are planning.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's pretty cut and dried. It's just gonna take a swampland from nothing to public, and it'll be pretty simple and easy, I think. No,
You guys will see.
yeah. The other thing is too, I mean, in that instance, if something did happen at the meeting, we can call too and put you on speakerphone, call the mayor or one of you. So, yep. Next order of business, Amanda provided us with the completed planning, the moratorium on the data center and battery storage facilities that we've,
This
as a
should be
city,
the final reading today, right? Was that last month?
final reading was last month on that? Yes. So this is the one that's been signed and sent to the courthouse for them to, for their information and for our information. So it not only covers the city, but the extraterritorial jurisdiction also.
Right.
And in commission concerns, Mr. Wing brought up the apartment buildings at John Ryan, so Amanda gave a little update on where that's at, and then as soon as the interested party yay or nays it, and then we would know more what's going on. But we did respond that the one building was coming down and gonna be cleaned up for sure, just depending on that second building.
Yep.
With that, that was the end of our meeting. So
Can I get a motion to approve Todd's report? Second? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign or same for opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Planning and zoning administrator report.
Good evening again. As you can see, we only had 2 permits. We have the revamping the signs at the Myers Oil property and then Fertile Construction with their equipment shop. That is the old gravel pit that you guys approved the rezone and such on last month. And I apologize, I have the legal description because it does not have a 911 address because there's no building there yet, so. But that's where it's at.
Any questions for Amanda? If not, can I get a motion to approve both building permits?
So moved.
And a second? Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign opposed. Motion carries. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Okay, the next up is visitor committee. Anybody here from the visitor committee? I guess we have a report here.
You want me to speak on it, Mayor?
Why don't you?
Okay, so yes, Visitors Committee met. They do recommend full approval for the Montreal County Egg Improvement Association for their 2025 Women in Egg event on August 2nd, 2025 for $4,000.
August, right? Am I on the right sheet? April 2nd? I thought you said August.
Did I say August? Sorry, I meant April 2nd. Wishing it summer, sorry.
Motion to accept, correct.
Okay. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, next is the EDC.
Okay, so I did receive an email from Brandy today stating that neither Steve or her were going to be available to attend. She wasn't sure if Megan or John was going to be able to attend, but obviously they weren't. I guess I was kind of given a little explanation on this one. That the request is for someone who doesn't employ people, which isn't necessarily the case. Between Paige and Ashley Murphy, another Aflac agent in Stanley, who will rent space from Paige. They employ 2 people. She said, I'm not sure if they're full-time employees or not. She said, our EDC committee angle on approval of this application and recommending it to be a loan with it forgiven after 4 years if she's still occupying the building primarily is because she's buying a vacant building and making improvements to it. While her business doesn't generate sales tax, she does have foot traffic, which in turn bring people to our Main Street area. She will also be creating some office rental space for others, which is extremely hard to find right now and especially needed to help revive our business district. This would be the old post office building.
And the total grant is 25,000.
20,000. What they
20.
approved was 20,000.
Oh, okay.
With the 4-year forgiveness and at 5,000 per year forgiven.
Basically, line with everything that we've done in the past 3 years, as far as they get the money up front.
Yep.
And as the business is still solvent at the end of that year's worth of payment is forgiven. Now they move into the second year, 3 years. And then as long as they stay open and viable, then that money's still
So let me ask you a question. I would consider, this to me does not do EDC, I'm sorry. And I guess I'm the old school from 1995, this was created to bring jobs and employ people. This is important. To me, what this is doing, I want to buy some real estate, buy a couple of houses and rent them out. That's no different than what this is. What did I create? Nothing but something for myself. Now, I understand that this has been approved by EDC. And I'm pretty sure that finally got it. I understand. I thought this was last yesterday. No, no, I guess. But I just don't think that there, it doesn't, to me, there's anything other than rental property, it's for management. She's putting her business in there. 22 offices gonna be in there, right? That's what I read, 2 offices. And she's taking up part of it. And she's working on management. That's what this is for. To, what can I say? What can I say? Yeah, she's gonna go out there, she's gonna paint it up, fix it up, she's gonna get it for about $20,000. That, I don't know, does it get paid back? It's forgiven, correct?
The 20,000 is as long as
It's
it's.
4 years, as long as the building is, because she doesn't have to make any payments, does she?
No, as long as it's occupied and it's to capacity with their offices. According to this, that's what they're looking for.
I have a hard time, I understand what they're trying to do, it's an empty building, we're trying to get use out of it, and we're trying to get people in. What they're trying to do. Does that create economic development to you guys? I don't know, it doesn't to me, because I can look at a couple houses and say, hey, I want about 20 grand to fix them up so I can run them out. What's the difference? Can someone?
I guess to me, I don't disagree. It doesn't create jobs, but one thing that it does do is it gets back on the tax roll, which theoretically benefits you, me, and everybody, because we should be able to get to a point where we don't have to raise mills if we can get all.
Well,
keep all this.
there's another point to look at. It also, fills our main street, basically. We've got a lot of empty buildings right now. I think that is a plus part of it. I don't disagree with you on what you're saying. But I do say it's nice to have owners of these buildings that are gonna fix them up and take care of the buildings.
But what's the difference if I go buy a couple pieces of property, come in and say, hey, I wanna fix them up like she's did it, and, come up to you guys, I wanna write that off about 4 years. Well,
Well, I think you have that right.
I,
I mean,
my next question, do you like that idea? Because what did I create? Other expand my portfolio.
great, but that it's, I mean, from what it was back in the early 90s,
That's right.
and I mean, I believe it was before 95
That
even
was
that this came up.
95.
And it was when all the business in Stanley was on Main Street. There was nothing on Highway 2 with the exception of Cenex. And the goal at that time, I don't disagree, it was solely because it was on a point system. You hire one person, you get X number of dollars. You hire 3 people, you get X number of dollars per employee. And it's morphed into this. And I don't know that any of us can 100% say that this is the way to go. Because it is free money. There is no incentive to create business. It's more incentive to
That's my opinion.
upgrade a building or to purchase a building or whatever. And in a roundabout way, that could be considered development. Because in some cases, let's be the devil's advocate, if she can't get the 20,000, maybe she doesn't even open the business. Or
Well,
the
I know,
building.
if you look at her numbers and financials too, that's why I questioned Steve. I says, what are we doing here? I said, she qualifies, why can't you take what you find that building for? Go to the bank and say, hey, look, I wanna put this up, then we borrow the money against it. Cause it should be worth more, and that's fine.
Because this is free money.
This is what these programs are for.
That's my point.
It's everywhere. I mean,
I myself have been a recipient of this. It's what it's
There's
for.
a different business from this,
I understand that, but
totally business.
Make sure you turn on your microphones, guys.
Mine's on. It's, at the end of the day, it still meets the criteria.
What's the criteria? Where's the economic development?
Adding to a building that's sitting vacant for how many years now? Which puts it back on the tax roll.
Okay.
Which also drives business in that direction of town, which isn't happening now.
What's over there?
Furniture store, the bank, bar,
Thanks on Main Street.
The New Mexican restaurant.
the Mexican restaurant.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have enough room to do a lot of things in there. Maybe have 3, 4 or 5 people in there. Okay. I'm
Well-
just asking questions, guys. That's
No,
fine.
And that's,
To accept the recommendation of.
that's the right way to do it. So, okay, I got a motion on the table. Is there a second? George? Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Same sign opposed.
Aye.
Motion carries. Yep, one opposed. Oh, 2 opposed. Okay. 4, 2 opposed. I went through that too fast.
I do
Plus
have
I
a
have
question
trouble
on that,
counting.
on the EDC though. So we've placed requirements upon recipients. First one that comes to mind is 2 doors down in the hardware store. And there was a requirement that needed to be open on the main level for a fruit and vegetable stand, I believe was what was stated.
First of June.
And it was a while ago,
Yes,
and it's not, it is,
it never will be.
there's nothing in there. And I don't remember the exact number. Kirk, maybe you can help me out. What did we award them?
I'm not a big
I
proponent to
don't
this.
remember either. I wanna say
I think it's a giveaway.
3,000,
It was
2,000.
separate-
Yeah, there was 2 separate, because the second one
It's a
was
giveaway.
10,000.
So is this.
Every business gonna get that money?
coolers, I believe, if I remember
Yeah.
right.
If you
I never-
want, I can
I
quick
never
go
got it.
check.
Did you see?
But I mean, I think
Yeah.
You can't go to the bank?
I think something needs to be approached with those people, whether it is a letter from us from Ryan and his group. Or if it's from the EDC, it was, I don't know where they fit into this picture, but
Well, at least come to the meeting and explain your own reasons.
and I mean, we can't give that money away. Have the same conversation that we just have of somebody that hasn't had a chance, but we allow them to just walk away with a boatload of money and no responsibility, so. I guess, what's anybody else? What are your feelings
I
on it?
agree with you 100%.
Isn't there some type of criteria you can have with these people that get this money from us or from EDC? Where once a year, they either show up or 6 months or whatever, and give us some type of, I don't know, what's going on? Just like you're asking right now, Chad.
I don't think that there's anything wrote in it now, as of now.
No, but
There's
we can
something-
come up with something. Can't we come up with something?
I mean, I don't see why you can't.
I mean, isn't it our right, once we give them the money, that we should have some type of information afterwards? Cause you're asking about it. We've waited a long time for the lady on the Mexican restaurant on, and I guess that's getting taken care of now, from what I understand. She's got her, yeah, so I mean, she's getting close, but like you said, you're not getting any information on the other person. And I'm sure there's a few other ones that have gotten money in the past, but unless we find out what's going on,
What about the ones that default on this?
Yeah.
Has there ever been a payment made back?
Well, so
Yeah.
we established that with a couple of them, and it's now billed to them on their utility billing. So where they're paying their loans back. And therein lies the other part of the problem is, not too many years ago, it was all deemed a loan. There was, a no interest loan, so they were expected to pay it back like a loan. Well, then somewhere in the middle of the stream, things got changed.
Yeah.
And it became a due and owing grant, if not in business, basically is what it said. So 4 years, First year you're in business, your payment for that year is forgiven. Second year in business, if it fails, you close, you walk away, whatever. Prorated to however many months you were open the second year, that part's forgiven. And then from that point onward is due and owing in full, if I remember correct. Well, that's where we're at here. That's where we were at with two other ones that come to my mind immediately. We did establish a payment plan with them, and to my knowledge, they've been making their payment, regular monthly payment along with their utility billing. Sometimes they're probably late, sometimes whatever, but as a general rule, they've been paid.
You know, we're getting.
So-
Well, I think we're kind of getting off track here, getting away from some of this stuff, so
But we need to
it's
do,
some,
We need to do
we
something
need to
there.
do something with this one, because it's the newest one and it is in total default.
Yeah.
And it has been for since June first,
Yeah.
June or July first, somewhere in there was when it was supposed to be up and running. So the question to us right now that we do need to decide on, do we send the letter? Does EDC send the letter?
it would have to be the EDC, I think, that sends the letter. They're in default of an EDC program, even though we,
I
Who's
don't.
executor of the-
Pleading ignorance, I don't know.
what'd you say, George?
Who's executor of the loan? Like,
Sorry, what'd you say, George?
if I remember correctly, like when I got mine, the check came from the city, so that's be the city.
The city holds the note.
Yep, so obviously I draft up the promissory note and
Okay.
we issue the check. But I guess in all the years that I've been here, EDC has always taken care of directly communicating with these individuals usually.
Well, I think we write the letter then and have Ryan review it and send him a letter saying they're
Okay,
in
so
default.
EDC or,
Us.
okay,
We hold the note. I mean, at the end of the
Okay.
day, it's doing only.
so you want me to draft up something and have Ryan review it or?
Draft a letter and have Ryan
Okay.
review it, saying
Did
that
not
they're in,
come up with the deadline.
We established.
You
the deadline.
established the deadline, so.
We requested they come and give us an update next month.
well, I
Or do you
think
want,
we'll basically have to do
I
the
can
same
wait
thing
over
we've
and give you
done
an
for
update.
a different one. So,
would you like the letter to just more or less state that we'd like to, for them to attend the next council meeting? To come discuss it, or I guess what's council's thought?
Oh, one thing comes to mind, I mean, what we wrote into that was each year's forgiven, so does this mean that first year isn't forgiven? I mean, that's the terms of the note, right? Simple.
Yeah, I mean, there, to me, there's doing away. Money's there back to the EDC fund. Period. Because they did not fulfill their promissory note agreement.
Mhm.
Now, if they were to miraculously open it up and be running it for the next 3 years, then I'm good with, you fell back in line, you're good to go. Not the case.
let's, write the letter, put it on the agenda again for next month.
Okay,
In the meantime, Ryan can review the letter and we'll decide whether,
Can you send me the promissory note that was signed?
okay, let's move on. It's the first reading of an ordinance, establishing employee recruitment retention bonus programs for employees. This is, I'm gonna let Ryan explain this. Cause I don't wanna,
So, there's a constitutional provision in our constitution that states that cities can't gift or donate to, they can only donate to people like the poor. And, so technically, any
me,
any bonuses you give to anybody, it just could be considered a gift. Other cities have deemed those would be considered gifts and that's illegal to do. However, there's there is a provision in the North Dakota Constitution or North Dakota statutes regarding retention bonuses and also recruitment bonuses that they have to meet. And if they can meet those, then they can give those bonuses to individuals, and there's criteria. And so it was recommended that the city draft an ordinance basically following the statute that the state of North Dakota has drafted, and then but tailored towards city. And so we did that. Here's the ordinance that I recommend the city does in order to give bonuses to the employees. And then once this is done, then the employment committee, they you guys have to draft a policy for it. And so we have drafted that too, and that's going to the employment committee, my understanding. And so that's kind of where we have this ordinance, draft ordinances to be able to give bonuses.
And this
Without-
is basically qualified as a retention bonus.
Yep, it would be a retention bonus, or again, if you guys wanted to recruit somebody, again, it's not easy to get people here. You can also pay a recruitment bonus, a sign-on bonus that you couldn't in the before. So it's just given that and I think you can justify it, given you're in an area where you're competing with oil field companies. And so you have to pay more. The state of North Dakota pays retention bonuses to their oil and gas division because a lot of them leave. So they have to give them a retention bonus. So you know, it's all set forth in the ordinance. So it mirrors the statute. So, and that hasn't been deemed to be unconstitutional. So.
So,
Okay.
These bonuses, is that like a Christmas bonus? Or is that, in other words, right, as a Christmas bonus, do you have to withhold the tax?
Yeah, you're still paying taxes on it. But you would work with your,
We can't give a Christmas bonus.
yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
Yep.
Does it change the ordinance? Does that change anything? Or do you call it something else?
Well, you call it a
that's my question.
retention bonus.
Question.
Yep.
And
know.
taxes are withheld.
Yep, and I think bonuses were taxes were held too, right?
Taxed at a higher rate and taxes are always withheld.
Yeah.
Let's say you pick $500 as your bonus, that is not what they get. They get taxed at unearned income rate and fully taxed. So.
Yep.
But without having this, as Ryan stated, you cannot do a retention bonus. You cannot do like a recruitment
Yep.
style bonus to where you can sweeten the pot a little bit that one time.
So we have this ordinance in front of us. Everyone's got a copy of it. Ryan has explained it. And tonight would be the first reading of it. But can we dispense with the reading, or does somebody want it read?
You don't have to read it.
Okay,
It'll get
It gets published.
right. Well, then we'll dispense with the reading because everyone's got a copy. I need a motion to approve this.
Motion to approve first reading of the new ordinance.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
We have to
Aye.
do roll call.
Oh, okay, yep.
Kirk,
Aye.
Jesse,
Aye.
Ty.
Aye.
Randy,
Aye.
George,
Aye.
Chad.
Hearing all ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Okay, Bros Engineering update.
Perfect. Does that work?
Yep.
All right, so, my name is Charlie Hankins. I'm here with Rose Engineering on behalf of Patrick. He couldn't make it tonight. So you'll have to bear with me. I was given a Engineers report that I presume he runs with you all at your regularly scheduled meetings. And last week while visiting with Patrick, he made me aware of his circumstances and I agreed to stop by here. I've only been with the company for about a month now. I'm the new director of urban services. I work in Bismarck, but I'm happy to be here tonight and
You took Ken's place?
I did. That's
Okay.
correct. Yes, sir. Yep. So I'll just try to stay on task here and work through this with you guys. I presume you all have copies of the documents okay. First on the list was the Fifth Street Southeast reconstruction. Doesn't sound like there was a whole heck of a lot to discuss there other than there's a punch list of items, but none of that will be taken care of until the spring with this winter suspension. And there's no council action on that item tonight unless there were questions from you all regarding that one.
The only thing that comes to mind on that is the sewer issue that we have there, so isn't that the southeast?
That's the next item. Sorry.
Oh,
Yep.
commercial. All right, sorry.
Yep. So I guess with nothing there, I can move on. So the Fifth Street Southeast commercial repair, the updates that Patrick provided here, I guess I can just read through them briefly. Letter was approved by legal, sent to the contractor. The contractors contacted their insurance company. They have requested the total cost of damages when available. And the contractor has been made aware that they are responsible for the damages and the costs associated with said damages. So I don't know, I presume you're well aware of this, correct? So, okay, I don't know if there's any questions on that.
That was gonna be my question.
Oh, okay.
Was made aware of it. Accepted that as well.
That's my understanding, yes.
I got one question. Is all homeowners, everything being taken care of there?
To date, it has there, unless some bills came in that last.
I haven't received any since the last one you come and looked at, so.
Everything that we've received.
And to my knowledge too, through conversations with Patrick, as the contractor has been made aware of this, they have completely understood to date thus far and are willing to accept their responsibilities in this. So unless something changes there, I think it's full steam ahead as you guys are currently moving with that.
Mayor, may I make a comment? So I did discuss this with Patrick last week and I did mention, because yes, the contractor, was kind of requesting a total cost of damages. As I told Patrick, don't have a total cost yet because obviously there are bills still coming in, and I did kind of give him a summary of what's been paid to date, and he explained that to the contractor and it sounded like they were good with that though.
So what has been paid to date?
Of course you asked me that. Probably close to maybe 16,000. There is one resident, as I told Chad, that I know they had damages, but they have not submitted anything to me and I've talked to them twice.
Okay.
So. But yeah, just off the top of my head, like I said, between 15 and 16,000 is probably what's been paid to date.
Okay. And that's by to how many? There's 4 of them in total.
Sorry, I guess that kind of considers total cost because that included like the bills we paid to Gustafson but that would be for two residents. Obviously, one of them didn't sustain any damages. They were able to take care of it before any damages occurred.
Okay. Right.
Okay. The next item on the list was Capital Improvement Plan 3, the protest hearing scheduled for January 23rd at 4 p.m. Looks like the plans are 80% complete and they will be going through our internal review process by the end of the week.
Okay.
Let's see. Next on the list was the John Ryan reconstruction. The bid opening, as I understand it, was yesterday. I believe there were 4 bids received with Knife River being low bidder. The low bid amount was 1.676 million, or sorry, 1,676,573 and 92 cents, which is well underneath the engineer's estimate.
What was the second bidder?
Secondary was CSI, it appears, at $1,967,383.85.
I missed the first one. How much difference?
So
is
it's
that?
roughly a delta of 300,000.
1.6.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I didn't look that far back, so. Okay,
sure.
thank you.
Yes. Per conversations with Patrick, he did provide recommendation of award to the apparent low bidder after checking the math and the numbers. So I guess as of tonight, I think, was that information provided? Did he provide all of that for that? I apologize. Okay. Okay. And if you need time to think about that too as well, I mean, also understand, we have the ability to hold on to the 3 apparent low bidders for a total of 60 days.
I guess
I would,
visit with Patrick.
I would.
Sure. Yep. Okay, so that covers that. And then let's see here. Oh, the multi-community chip seal. The bids were opened on December 17th. APC was low bidder. It looks like that was within, oh boy, within about $500 or so of the engineer's estimate. Low bid was $216,616.47. And we would recommend to award that as well. My understanding of that, in conjunction or working with the county, being the owner, and I guess contractually in this project, working with several communities. You guys, the city of Stanley is the last city, I believe, to accept the low bid as presented. But once that's done, then they can move forward with the notice to proceed on that. So I would be seeking, I guess, a motion from council tonight to accept that, assuming that's what you guys would like to do.
I'll make the motion to accept that bid of $216,616.47 from the APC for the chip seal.
Second.
Okay, Lynn,
Jesse, Ty, Randy, George, Chad.
hearing all ayes, no nays, motion carries to award that contract.
Okay, thank you. And the last item Patrick had on here, it appears it's the general service agreements. So the previous engineering agreement that you guys, that Bros had that was under contract with the city was a 2005 version. It sounds to me as though he's provided an updated version of these documents, and it addresses many of the concerns that the council had, which to my knowledge was the ability to exit the contract, I would assume, exit the contract at any point in time, given the nature of the way the one was previously written. Do I understand that correctly, or am I off on that? More or less. There may have been some other things in there. But sure. And I know this, so the EJCDC documents, but there's master service agreements, they're nationwide documents, similar nature to the AIA on the architectural side of things. And there's a board or committee that puts these together. And I guess the entire purpose behind that was for commonality amongst within the industry at a nationwide level. And it really is in place to protect both the owner or the client as well as the engineer. But I believe he provided those. Did he provide comments to legal at all? Or I should say a copy of that for you to review prior or not?
I did get it that was included in the packet, so that's for.
Just today then?
Yep.
Okay. And if you need time to review that, it's absolutely understandable. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely understandable. So. And, but that's all that Patrick had, but if there was any questions for me or, anything else that you guys would like to discuss, I would certainly be more than happy to address anything.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. You bet.
Okay, next on the agenda is R&T Water District Annexation Agreement. We've all got a copy of that Ryan has provided. Any comments on that? Ryan, have you got any comments on that?
Well, I know that it was tabled for that water agreement. I think, Jesse, were you gonna go talk to them or George?
Justin and I both kind of brought it up a little bit at the meeting. I kind of just point blank asked the question, what happens if we don't sign it? I said nothing. It's probably our easiest course of action. Yeah.
You being on that committee, you two being on that committee, what's your recommendation?
For now, I say we sit tight.
Huh?
For now, I say we just leave it as is.
Jesse? Okay,
We've been partners with R&T a long time, so I don't see any downside really at this point.
okay, so since we tabled this, give me a motion to leave it as it is.
I make a motion to leave it as standing so that it defaults to the original agreement.
Okay, motion and a second on the table on that water agreement. All in favor signify by saying aye. Same sign opposed, motion carries. Okay, gaming permits.
You only have one gaming permit and it's for the Bethel Home Auxiliary. It's for a raffle on February 16th. They'd be holding the drawing at the Golden Age Club.
Move to approve.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign opposed, motion carries. Police report.
Are you crazy? Good evening. So,
Oh,
so as you guys know, last month we had two graduate the academy. We had a little award ceremony for them the last week of December. One of them is going to be done with field training in about a week and a half. And then the other one will be done with field training the middle of next month. So by the middle of next month, we'll be completely staffed on the road and not be shorthanded anymore, which will be pretty much the first time since.
looking at your police report, I see Pesic. I don't see a lot of them.
Because
Just wondering, just a comment,
he's very busy.
he's busy. That was just a observance. That was,
And that's why we pay the big bucks. So as the police department, we've been working with Public Works because as we all know, there's a lot of snow outside and there's going to be more coming. So we've been working with Public Works to try to take care of the abandoned vehicle stuff regarding snow removal. I think when I looked earlier in the last 2.5 to 3 weeks, we've tagged close to 27 vehicles. Most of them were moved on their own. We've ended up towing a handful, 6 or 7 of them, which are now sitting in our very small impound lot. So we'll have a conversation about that later. But looking at the city ordinances, A lot of them haven't been adjusted in a very, 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 very long time. Some of them like when I was in high school. So
Asshole.
I said when I was in high school, not when I was born. So what I did is I sent it to the police committee last night, so they have it in digital form. The rest of you guys, I gave you a hard copy. Ryan, I also left you a copy too. What I'm asking you to do is just look through these two sections. One is for traffic and one is for the animal ordinances. Just look through them, see if you guys like what's there. A lot of it is still the same, but I looked at other cities and kind of made modifications to bring it updated and benefit our community.
Has Todd gotten a copy of this as well?
No, Todd has not.
Okay.
So, and as a matter of fact, I also spoke to Dave. I'm going to give him a copy as well, because the more people I have look at this and have buy-in to make our community great is what I'm looking for. I don't want this to be, it's a police department show. That's not what this is about.
That's why I mentioned Todd, is because they may have some good ideas.
Right.
You know, a matter of fact, they rewrote a lot of the
Strictly building code.
right, but I haven't been able to ask them. I guess I didn't get a chance to ask Todd if they had ever looked over some of these codes.
They wouldn't, because it doesn't fall in their, that's not in their wheelhouse. They're strictly building.
Okay,
Would you like me to just give him a copy or have a conversation with him, or would you
well,
like me to?
I mean, they're
think
used to
that?
writing,
He's a good citizen of Stafford, but.
exactly.
just about-
Okay.
I
I think each committee, however.
a lot of common sense.
affect Each committee,
Absolutely.
and, you know.
So,
Everybody to look at.
Yeah. I really want buy-in from everybody. So yeah, whatever we can do, maybe I can give, go ahead.
Do you want me just to send it out to my committee? Would that be the easiest thing? I have a copy that Kevin had provided to me earlier.
yeah, that'd be fine.
And then, so what my hope is that each of you guys will review it, make whatever changes you feel are appropriate. We can have another discussion. And then once everybody has done their buy-in and we've made the modifications, then I'll give it to Ryan in his office for final review and hopefully have a first reading within the next month or so.
Okay,
That's my goal. Other than that, everything's going good at the police department.
and you are putting stickers on some of these vehicles that we can't get moved for snow
Yes.
removal?
That's what I started with. Yes, we are.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, and I remember another thing,
No, I made them to where I can. It'll cost a little bit more money and I was trying, but yes, I was trying to be,
I remember what I was gonna ask you,
oofta.
and I wrote it down now.
Okay, so after,
No,
Oh.
I'm gonna ask you right now, because it's not a big deal.
okay,
It is kind of a big deal. Talking to Debbie, you know, she said one of the problems, not a huge problem, but one of the issues she had on doing some of the tickets, she doesn't have a phone number or a way to communicate with these people. It can't be that difficult to put someone's phone number on a ticket, is it?
it's not super difficult and we try. And there are other things that Century Code requires that the courts can do when they're not able to contact an individual as well, that
Yeah,
aren't being followed right now either.
but rather than have something sent into Bismarck, if a phone call would do it from her, I think would be 100% more efficient.
No, absolutely. And I don't disagree with you. And I've also asked her for a list of the phone numbers that she needs because we have a service that will provide that to us. She's only
Okay.
brought me one.
Okay, Well, and there probably hasn't been that much lately. I'm not
Well,
saying that.
there's been a handful. I'm aware of that.
When Debbie and I had our meeting here a couple months ago, we talked about it. That's when it come up.
Okay.
And, that's why I didn't remember. But, yeah. I think it'd be really helpful if that was down. I think it's great that they get a call,
Absolutely.
you know, and
Kind of like what we're doing with the abandoned vehicles and everything else. Try to give the people the benefit of the doubt to fix the problem before we have to deal with it.
right,
Mhm.
it's much easier.
Yep.
So,
But once they have to peel the nasty sticker out, never want to get that thing again. So
I'll put one on your truck in the driveway just so you can feel it.
make a little extra money for the-
I almost called you for one out in the street in front of his house, so, okay.
All right. Anything else for me?
I don't have anything else.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Public Works.
Good evening. I guess I don't really have anything other than a update. I have, two of our individuals retesting for water certs in Bismarck. So we are working towards that. So we're compliant with the DEQ. My goal is to myself and two others to be certified in water and sewer, so we're not relying on Todd or, excuse me, Ward.
Perfect.
Are you going to that thing in Minot? Or,
No, this is testing in Bismarck.
okay,
So you have to be certified before you can go get the credits. So,
And I believe like yourself, you have X number of hours you have to be with before you can
yeah, that's why I haven't tested yet. Yep.
okay,
absorb it. All the hours before you can. The test.
I suppose.
Other than that, you guys have anything for me?
Is the water tower 100% finalized? They get everything.
The tower itself is done. Verizon is still plugging away on their end. The temporary tower is down except the base. The base has like 75 ton of sand in there. And we'll take that apart in the spring because right now it's cement.
I asked Dave about a light on the top of that tower because, I thought there used to be a light on the top of that tower. And I was hoping that somebody older than me would be at the meeting tonight, but they're probably all dead. So, huh? What'd he say?
Not having it.
So yeah, when Marley
I
asked me
was
about that,
pretty sure.
I pulled up all our pictures of the tower before the project and there was no light up there. And I asked Gene, and Gene said he's never remembered a light up there. I followed up with McGuire. McGuire said there wasn't a light up there, and if FAA required one, we would have heard from them right away if we needed a light.
I'm sure we would have, but I just thought way back when, I was almost sure we had a light on top of
You
that
probably
tower.
shot it out back in the day.
I probably replaced it. Or worked on it. Shut up, Chad. Let's let's move on to attorney updates. Thank you, Dave.
All right.
I've got nothing.
Mary, please don't write all that down.
Oil lantern was the best part of it.
That wasn't funny. No,
I've got nothing.
okay. Council concerns. Kirk,
No.
Jesse, Ty.
Yeah, was wasn't there something for the select water thing that got tabled, now it's gone?
So yeah, select water was on the agenda. I got a call from her right around lunchtime. I guess her boyfriend had been in a car accident and an actual rollover, and she was at the hospital, so she wasn't going to be able to attend. So it's going to be moved to the February meeting.
Okay,
That's all I have. Thank you.
Randy,
Nothing, so.
George?
I just keep getting people asking me about the Greenstone properties again. I know we're tearing one down, but we haven't heard from anybody on the other side.
Waiting for some. Hopefully if I don't have it.
Electrical inspector is supposed to be here from the state on Thursday. Once I get some answers from him. And then I'm gonna probably reach out to some plumbing inspector also. So as soon as I get some answers on both of them, then I can make a final decision. I would say I'm 90% there, just depending on what they say.
When can we put a hard date on it, Jesse? I mean, I get it, you're a councilman, but
Yeah, I just, as soon as I
there's,
get,
everybody is.
as soon as I can get some answers, I will
I mean,
let
we
you guys
told them that
know.
we were gonna tear it down in December,
Yeah.
and then we opened it back up.
Okay,
Asking for that decision by today.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
Well, we need to have a date because.
No, well, no, I know. I know.
Can we schedule is it fair to ask to schedule a special meeting in 2 weeks from tonight?
I would say we
Is that
can do
enough
that.
time?
Yep, I think so.
I'd make a motion to schedule a special meeting at 4 o'clock, 2 weeks from tonight. On the Greenstone properties.
Second.
Anyone second?
I'll second.
Okay. Okay.
Kirk, just so that we can show that due diligence. to-
Yeah. Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, opposed? No one opposed, motion carries. Move on to the judge's report.
I got something.
I tried. Mary, I tried.
Just the computer and server, where are we sitting with that?
Okay, so he was here today, so we actually have the new computer over here already set up. He did start to set up a couple of the new computers, are having some issues because, not finding compatibility with our copier, which isn't good because obviously we all do a lot of scanning and printing. So he's gonna have to do some checking into that. So he didn't hook up all our computers because obviously the three of us still need the option to be able to print and
But
scan.
it's.
And the server,
Equipment's here and we're.
and the server, he's gonna come and do in March, he said.
I just know it was a lot of money and it was supposed to be happening. That's all I got, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman. Judge's report. Everybody have a chance to look it over?
Looking to approve the judge's report.
Okay, motion and a second on the table. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign opposed, motion carries. Moving on to the bills. Has everybody had a chance to look over all the bills?
There's the what fund question on here. Got it lifted.
So it would be 2 electric pump for more or less the new pump and the parts and, yeah, for the county.
That make most. Sewer fund. But it's. One thing that it does is the sewer, so.
I kind of assumed, but I just wanted to make sure, so.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to pay the bills.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign opposed, motion carries. Can I get that last motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, got a motion? Is there a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.